Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. James Revealio, and today we're talking about one of the most misunderstood foods sitting in your pantry right now, sardines. Here's something most people don't realize. Sardines are one of the only seafoods on this planet that are naturally consistently low in mercury. That single fact makes them one of the safest, most powerful foods you can eat several times a week without worry. They're packed with premium protein, brain-boosting omega-3 fatty acids, bone-strengthening calcium, and a whole list of vitamins your body is quietly begging for every single day. But here's the problem. Almost everyone I talk to, patients, viewers, even some of my own colleagues, is making at least 3 or 4 mistakes with sardines without even knowing it. And these aren't small, harmless mistakes. Some of them strip away almost all the nutrition before the fish ever reaches your plate. Others can genuinely put your health at risk if you're in a sensitive group. So let me ask you something. When you grab a can of sardines off the shelf, do you actually know if you're picking the right one? Do you know how long it's safe to keep an opened can in your fridge? Have you ever rinsed your sardines under the tap, thinking you were doing something healthy? And here's the big one. Are you throwing away the single most nutrient-dense part of the fish without realizing it? Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 mistakes, counting down from 10 to 1, that are quietly robbing you of the benefits sardines are supposed to give you. Some of these will surprise you. A few might genuinely shock you. By the time we're done, you'll never look at that little tin the same way again. Before we get into it, if you find this valuable, tap that like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep bringing you science-backed health content like this every week. And if you're new here, drop a comment and say hello. I'd love to know you're with us. All right, let's get into it. Mistake number 10, throwing out the bones. This is probably the single most common mistake I see, and it makes sense on the surface. Most of us grew up being told to watch out for fish bones. They're sharp, they're annoying, sometimes they're even dangerous. So the instinct to pick them out of your sardines feels completely natural. But sardine bones are a completely different story. During the canning process, they go through intense pressure cooking that breaks them down until they become soft, tender, and completely edible. You could chew through them without even noticing, and most people who eat sardines regularly genuinely can't tell where the fish ends and the bone begins. Here's why this matters so much. Those tiny bones are one of the richest natural sources of calcium found anywhere in the seafood world. A single serving of bone-in sardines can deliver well over a third of your recommended daily calcium intake. That's calcium for strong bones, healthy teeth, and properly functioning muscles. And it doesn't stop there. Sardines also come loaded with vitamin D, which is the exact nutrient your body needs to actually absorb that calcium. Together, calcium and vitamin D form one of the most important partnerships for protecting your skeletal health, especially as you get older and bone density naturally starts to decline. When you pick out the bones, you're doing extra work for absolutely no benefit, and you're throwing away nutrition your body genuinely needs. Yes, you can buy pre-deboned sardines at the store, but they typically cost more, and the deboning process tends to leave the fish looking broken and messy. My advice as a physician, leave the bones in. They're safe, they're basically undetectable once you're eating, and they turn an already healthy food into one of the most nutrient-dense options on the market. Mistake number 9, choosing water-packed over oil-packed. This mistake happens right in the grocery aisle, and I get why. Water-packed sardines sound like the diet-friendly choice. Fewer calories, lighter taste. But this is where good intentions actually backfire. Sardines are naturally rich in omega-3 fatty acids, the same fats linked to lower inflammation, better heart health, and improved brain function. When sardines are packed in oil, that oil actually protects the natural fats inside the fish, keeping the omega-3s stable and the flesh moist and flavorful. Water does the opposite. It offers no protection, so the natural oils inside the fish start to break down and oxidize. Over time, this leads to a bland, dry, sometimes even metallic taste, and along with that flavor loss comes nutrient loss. Many people who try water-packed sardines once and don't enjoy them end up giving up on sardines entirely, which is a shame because the problem was never the fish. Yes, oil-packed sardines carry slightly more calories, but these are the good kind of calories, healthy fats your body actually wants more of. If you're serious about getting the full benefit of this food, skip the water-packed tins and go straight for a high-quality oil, ideally olive oil. Mistake number 8. Letting an opened can sit too long. Here's a mistake nearly everyone has made at some point without realizing the risk. An unopened can of sardines can last for years on your shelf. But the moment you pop that lid, a clock starts ticking, and most people have no idea how fast it's moving. As soon as sardines are exposed to air, oxidation begins immediately. Those healthy omega-3 fats start to break down, which changes both the taste and the nutritional value of the fish. The clock varies depending on what they're packed in. Water-packed sardines degrade the fastest, often within 24 hours. Oil-packed sardines typically hold up for 2 to 3 days in the refrigerator. Sardines in tomato sauce might stretch to about 4 days. But no matter what, after 1 week, any opened can of sardines should be considered unsafe and thrown away. There's another mistake layered on top of this one: leaving sardines sitting in the original metal can. Once opened, that metal can react with air, accelerating spoilage and adding an unpleasant metallic taste to the fish. As a physician who cares about food safety, my recommendation is simple. Transfer any leftover sardines into a clean, airtight glass or plastic container immediately after opening. This slows nutrient loss, preserves flavor, and keeps you safe. If you want to extend their life even further, freezing is an option, though it will soften the texture. The golden rule here: only open what you plan to eat within a couple of days, and always store leftovers properly. Mistake number 7. Ignoring storage conditions and expiration dates. A lot of people assume canned food basically lasts forever, sitting untouched in the pantry. And while sealed sardines can last a long time, heat, sunlight, and moisture are quietly working against you the entire time. If your cans are sitting near a sunny window, close to the stove, or in a damp cabinet, you are actively speeding up the breakdown of both the can and the fish inside. Over time, the oils oxidize, the flavor turns sour, and the nutritional value fades. In more serious cases, a damaged can allows bacteria to grow, making the sardines genuinely unsafe to eat. Here's something most people never think about. Not all sardines age the same way. Sardines packed in acidic liquids like tomato sauce tend to break down faster than those packed in oil. If you keep a variety of types at home, use up the acidic ones first and save the oil-packed cans for longer-term storage. Always inspect the can before opening it. Bulging lids, rust, dents along the seams, or any sign of leaking are red flags. When in doubt, throw it out. It's simply not worth the risk. Sardines are one of the most affordable, nutrient-dense foods available. Don't let poor storage waste that value, or worse, put your health in danger. Mistake number 6. Only ever eating them straight from the can. One of the best things about sardines, their convenience, is also what leads people to get bored with them too quickly. If plain, straight from the tin sardines are the only way you've ever tried them, you're missing out on an enormous range of flavor and versatility. Think of sardines as an ingredient, not just a finished snack. Mash them with a bit of Greek yogurt, avocado, or olive oil to create a protein-packed spread for toast or crackers. Layer them onto bread with capers, sliced onion, or fresh tomato for a Mediterranean-style bite that feels far more gourmet than the 5 minutes it takes to make. They also work beautifully in hot dishes. Stir them into pasta sauce right at the end of cooking for a flavor and omega-3 boost. Fold them into a stir-fry just before serving so they stay intact. Even pizza benefits from sardines. Their salty, savory bite pairs wonderfully with olives, peppers, and fresh herbs. At breakfast, try folding them into scrambled eggs or an omelet for a serious protein kick to start your day. There's a nutritional bonus here too. Pairing sardines with vegetables and vitamin C-rich foods, like tomatoes or bell peppers, actually helps your body absorb iron more efficiently. So yes, eating them straight from the can now and then is perfectly fine, but don't stop there. A little creativity turns sardines into one of the most versatile ingredients in your kitchen. Mistake number 5. Assuming all sardines taste the same. This is a mistake that causes a lot of people to give up on sardines entirely after one bad experience. Just like wine, coffee, or cheese, sardines vary enormously depending on where they're caught, how they're packed, and even the season they were harvested. Sardines from cold Atlantic waters, like those from Norway, tend to have a firmer texture and a cleaner flavor profile. Sardines from warmer Mediterranean or Pacific waters can be softer and richer. Even the season of the catch matters. Spring-caught sardines tend to taste lighter, while those caught later in the year are often fattier and more flavorful. The packing liquid changes everything too. Olive oil, tomato sauce, mustard, or plain water each bring out a completely different character in the fish. Spanish and Portuguese sardines packed in high-quality olive oil are famous for developing deep, complex flavors the longer they sit. Some producers smoke their sardines for a rich, savory depth, while others use spiced oils for extra kick. So if you tried a can once and didn't enjoy it, please don't write off sardines completely. That was one type from one region in one style of packing. There's an entire world of sardine flavor out there waiting to be explored. Mistake number 4, pairing sardines with the wrong flavors. Sardines are a bold, powerful ingredient, and that means they need the right partners on the plate. One of the most common mistakes is pairing them with flavors that clash instead of complementing them. The secret is contrast. Sardines' natural richness shines brightest next to bright, sharp, or tangy ingredients that cut through the oiliness. Think fresh lemon juice, a splash of vinegar, capers, tomatoes, or pickled vegetables. These flavors don't mask the sardine, they sharpen it, creating a more balanced and satisfying bite. Fresh herbs like parsley, dill, or cilantro add a clean, light note that keeps the dish from feeling heavy. On the flip side, avoid heavy cream sauces, buttery preparations, or overly sweet pairings. Rich cream combined with already oily sardines quickly becomes overwhelming, and sweet glazes tend to clash with the fish's natural saltiness rather than complement it. Sardines on toast with lemon and fresh herbs feel light and satisfying. The same sardines drowned in a heavy cheese sauce become difficult to enjoy. The lesson here isn't to avoid experimenting, it's to aim for balance every time. Mistake number 3, rinsing away the taste and the nutrition. This mistake genuinely surprises most people. A lot of folks rinse their sardines underwater before eating, hoping to cut down on salt, fat, or that fishy taste. But in reality, you're washing away the very things that make sardines worth eating. During the canning process, the oil, sauce, or brine isn't just there to fill the can, it's an active part of preservation. Over time, the fish and the packing liquid exchange flavor and nutrients, with omega-3s and fat-soluble vitamins seeping into that liquid. When you rinse the fish, you're rinsing away months of nutrient development along with the flavor. With oil-packed sardines specifically, rinsing creates an additional problem. Oil and water don't mix, leaving the fish slippery, falling apart, and far less appealing. The same issue applies to sardines in tomato or mustard sauce, where rinsing strips away the tang and richness meant to balance the fish. And about the salt concern, yes, sardines can be salty, but rinsing doesn't actually solve that problem, because the salt is absorbed into the fish itself during the canning process, not just sitting on the surface. If sodium is a genuine concern for you, look for low-sodium varieties instead, or reduce salt elsewhere in your meal. Rinsing sardines is essentially undoing months of careful flavor development in a few seconds at the sink. Skip it entirely. Mistake number 2, avoiding sardines because of fishiness. One of the biggest reasons people avoid sardines altogether is the assumption that they'll taste overwhelmingly fishy. But here's the truth. Sardines are fish, and they're supposed to taste like the ocean. The real issue is rarely the sardine itself. It's almost always how it was stored, prepared, or paired. A properly stored, high-quality sardine should taste clean, savory, and pleasantly briny. If your experience has been unpleasant or overpowering, the fish was likely stored poorly, past its ideal freshness window, or paired with the wrong ingredients. The fix isn't to hide the flavor, it's to brighten it. Acidic ingredients like fresh lemon juice, a splash of vinegar, or a spoonful of tomato sauce cut through heaviness and bring the flavor to life. Fresh herbs do the same. Quality matters enormously here too. Sardines packed in good olive oil or tomato sauce tend to taste noticeably cleaner than cheaper, poorly processed alternatives. There's also a physiological factor worth mentioning. If you don't eat much fish, sardines can taste strong at first, but your palate genuinely adapts over time, and many people begin to notice a subtle sweetness and depth they didn't taste initially. Rather than writing sardines off, try them in a fresh salad, with a squeeze of citrus, or alongside crisp vegetables before giving up on them completely. Mistake number 1, throwing away the oil. This is, without question, the costliest mistake people make with sardines. Draining that oil down the sink means throwing away some of the best flavor and nutrition the entire product has to offer. Here's the science behind it. When sardines are packed in oil, a slow exchange happens over time. The fish release natural juices into the oil, while the oil simultaneously soaks back into the fish. Over months of storage, that oil becomes rich with omega-3 fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins like D and E, and deep, savory flavor, essentially becoming liquid nutrition. Pouring it out doesn't just waste calories, it wastes nutrients that support your heart, brain, and immune system. From a culinary standpoint, you're also discarding a natural flavor enhancer that professional chefs would happily use in their own cooking. So what should you do with it instead? Drizzle it over salads in place of bottled dressing. Use it to saute onions and garlic before making pasta or rice. Stir it into soups and stews for extra richness. Dip fresh bread into it with a squeeze of lemon and some herbs for a quick, satisfying snack. Interestingly, the flavor of the oil actually deepens slightly after opening, so if kept properly in the refrigerator for a few days, it can add even more complexity to your cooking. That oil is far too valuable to waste. Treat it as the hidden bonus ingredient it truly is. Who should be careful with sardines? Now, as a physician, I do want to add an important note. Sardines are one of the healthiest foods available, but like any powerful food, they aren't ideal for absolutely everyone in unlimited quantities. If you have high blood pressure or are sensitive to sodium, keep in mind that most canned sardines are packed in a brine, oil, or sauce with a meaningful amount of salt. Choosing low-sodium varieties is a smart adjustment. If you have gout or elevated uric acid, sardines are relatively high in purines, which the body converts into uric acid, potentially triggering flare-ups. Moderation is key here. Anyone prone to uric acid kidney stones should also be cautious, since purines may increase risk, and it's worth discussing your specific situation with your doctor. For pregnant women, the good news is that sardines remain one of the safest fish choices thanks to their naturally low mercury content, far safer than larger fish like tuna or swordfish. That said, keeping an eye on sodium and portion size is still a wise practice. For the vast majority of healthy adults, though, sardines are an outstanding food to include in your weekly routine. If you fall into one of the groups above, moderation is simply the safer path forward. So there you have it, 10 mistakes that are quietly draining the value out of one of the most underrated superfoods on the planet. From choosing the right can, to storing it properly, to pairing it with the right flavors, small changes make an enormous difference between a forgettable meal and a genuine nutritional powerhouse. Sardines are packed with protein, omega-3s, calcium, and essential vitamins that support your heart, your brain, and your bones, all while being one of the most budget-friendly foods on the market. Now that you know how to avoid these common traps, you're ready to get the absolute most out of every single can. Do you eat sardines regularly, or do you have a favorite way of preparing them? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I genuinely love to hear your approach. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. I'm Dr. James Revealio, and I'll see you in the next video.